Alright, so...
Can I say something?
Can you put your leg down?
I got more straps than the Beatles, dog. Alright? I got more slaps than the Beatles, dog.
Oh, God. Your eyes are watering.
Okay. You get like that sometimes.
Oh, God. We're not going to be able to
Touchy subject. Okay, go ahead.
My life. Oh, Jesus. It's going to be a long day. It is going to be a long day. Are you done, sir?
You better use that, too.
It's going to be the opening for this video.
Do it.
Hey loves, thanks so much for tuning in. It's your girl chanellenovosey, and I have a special guest in the building with me, Martell D. Thank you so much for coming on today. I told you guys about him in my previous video. He is a good friend. He's visiting from Minneapolis, Minnesota, my hometown, and he is doing a podcast by the name of The Best We Know How, which is going to be amazing. He discusses issues of co-parenting, and he's an amazing teacher in the Minneapolis district, and I wanted to have him on to talk about how he brings creativity into his classroom. Thank you so much for joining.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
You're happy to be here.
I am.
Okay, cool. So as you guys know, I do DIYs from the Dollar Tree, and from what I understand, you do some really cool crafts for your students as well.
Every week.
Every week?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about what you do for the classrooms.
So I try to make a fun or themed activity for them to do at least once a week, sometimes more. Whether we're using, popsicle sticks, paint, paper, cutting, all kinds of things.
And where do you draw your inspiration from?
It's usually like related to the learning targets.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever we're learning about. So like if we're doing time telling, we might make some clocks, use paper plates, and they can paint the numbers or whatever. Or if it's Christmas season, we might make Rudolph with popsicle sticks and put a red fluffy nose on there or something.
Okay.
Like
So I'm just going to let him give you guys a little bit of background about his podcast. It's going to be great. I'll definitely put all of his social media links down in the description box, as well as the link over to his podcast. So can you give us a bit of a description on what your podcast is about?
Yes, so it's the Best We Know How podcast. It's an educational resource for parents, covering everything about parenting. So all the good things, all the magical moments that we have as fathers and mothers, and also all the other things that come along with it, like maybe separations and living in two homes, the child living in two homes, child support, and all the different things that come along with it. I can go on and on. Mm-hmm. We got about 11 episodes planned, and we're going to touch on all those things, and we're going to have experts come in, sit down with us to answer questions and give that expertise, and we're going to have other people who just have a lot of experience. So it's going to be a fun podcast for moms and dads to kind of get information or educate themselves on different things that go on in the world of parenting.
He's very passionate about this subject, and it's really good information. I've listened to some of his ideas, and we've recorded a podcast or two for his podcast, for his channel and stuff. And I can say he is an amazing father, an amazing teacher. He really knows what he's talking about. Not only from experience, but he goes out and he speaks with other men and also women who deal with these issues when it comes to co-parenting. He has a ton of resources, and he's going to be a hit. I'm so excited for it. But we were going to do a DIY, and I'm not sure if we actually should, but
you can if you want.
I was actually thinking we should do a DIY, like a guy trying to do a Dollar Tree DIY, but we'll just keep it pretty simple here. So sure.
It'll be good if we did, so I can show you how much better I can do it than you.
You are definitely not going to do a better job.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All right now.
I'm just kidding. She's very experienced with that stuff.
Thank you.
But I like a challenge, and I'm competitive.
I'm very competitive too.
So
well, to give you guys a bit of a backstory, I've known Martell for 20 years, and I'm bashful. Well, he's my high school sweetheart, and we dated for what, like 2 years in high school?
Something like that.
Like 2 years in high school. And we ran track together. Of course, I beat him all the time, and I was a track captain, and I won #1 in like everything.
Yeah, you did, girl. You sure did.
Oh my god. But yeah, so that's a bit of a background, and we just remained friends throughout the years, and yeah, I've seen him evolve from, you know, a
track captain.
He was never track captain.
What I am today.
No. I was track captain 2 years, junior and senior year. You didn't even know I was track captain.
He was doing it.
Yeah, I was pretty dope in track. We gotta get those pictures so that they can see. No, because I was I was not cute. No.
Yeah, you were.
Oh God, I wore glasses. I was like 100 pounds, soaking wet. It's not cute. It's not cute, but yeah, so that's a bit of the background with him and I, and he's just in town to shoot the podcast, and I've been showing him around the Atlanta area. He's in love with it, of course. You want to move here.
Yeah, Atlanta's really dope.
Atlanta's amazing. It's beautiful. So you do crafts with the kids, and of course they enjoy it.
Yeah, they love it.
And you use Pinterest and stuff like that as well, right?
Pinterest, Instagram to find inspiration, and it's really important for the kids to not only just do academics and science and social studies, but just having time where we put the pencils and the paper away to do arts and crafts, and they can create and you know, show how well they can be inspired by a subject.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do they have art classes outside of your class as well?
Yep, they have art class every, you know, sometimes 2 days a week.
Oh, okay. And what grade do you teach?
First grade.
You teach first grade. Okay. How long have you been a teacher?
5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Would you teach outside of like young adults?
Yeah, I'd be curious to teach every grade. Yeah, I would try every grade. Okay. Right now, I'm in love with first grade, and I'm very comfortable there, and I'm gonna do that for some time. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised before I retire if I didn't teach, you know, every grade level. Every grade level. Yeah. And college probably as well. Yeah.
What would you do with your kids on a day-to-day? And where do you shop at? Do you go to the Dollar Tree or what?
Yeah, or I'll Michael's, Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, you heard of that?
Of course. My favorite place in the whole world.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby's dope.
Oh my God, I can stay there for hours.
I didn't know that they had that much stuff.
Isn't it crazy?
You can actually shop for a baby in there.
Yes, the room.
A onesie.
These things came from Hobby Lobby.
Oh, really?
These pillows came from Hobby
Lobby.
Oh,
really? Oh, okay.
A lot of my stuff.
I would have thought this was like Marshalls or TJ Maxx.
Exactly. No, this is all Hobby Lobby. So.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby's dope.
Yeah, it is. Do you do timelines with your timelines?
Yeah, we just did timelines with the kids.
You did?
Just last week.
What subject did you choose?
So it's a social studies subject. So what you know me, I like to tie everything to an Afrocentric focus. So we did a timeline of Jackie Robinson, and you know, we talked about all the different sports he played. I don't know if a lot of people know, but he played football, baseball, basketball, and he went to college and played sports. He was multifaceted, you know, multi-talented. And then we made a timeline of his life, and then they made timelines of their own life independently. Okay. So I gave them large, colorful pieces of paper, and they were they made the line going across, and they would start with boring.
And these kids are
6 years old, yeah.
And they know how to do this.
Absolutely, because I'm their teacher. I'm not tooting my horn.
Not one to toot my own horn, but beep beep.
But I mean, I scaffold it, and that's a educational term for holding their hand just enough so that they are able to accomplish the task, and then eventually they're able to do it independently. So there's a lot of pre-work that's done before I send them on their own to go make a timeline of their life. Okay, gotcha. And then we'll make a timeline of our school day. We'll make a timeline of from when they wake up till they get to the school. You know, brush your teeth, wash your face, get on the bus. And then eventually I send them on their own to do something like make a timeline of your life. And we just did that last week.
Wow, really smart. And since visiting Atlanta, he visited Apex, right?
Yes.
And we always, have been recently discussing queens and kings in Black history that weren't noted.
African queens.
African,
Yeah,
thank
African
you.
Queens, yeah.
African kings and queens that we didn't learn anything about in our textbooks. And so he found an amazing book.
Yes, it's a book. It's the truth about African American history or African history, and basically it's a timeline that starts 65,000 years ago. Actually, it'd be 85,000. Wow. Because it's 6,500 BC.
Right.
And we're 2,000 years in the after death of Christ. So that's 85,000 years ago.
Just ridiculous.
And it talks about all the powerful queens, all the pharaohs, all the powerful kings that ruled different parts of Africa, and it leads all the way up to now. It's probably the best book I've ever gotten.
I'm so excited. So we'll definitely have that book listed in the description box if you want to check it out. How do you plan on like putting the lessons in that book into a teachable craft for your classroom?
So I always start teaching Black history at the beginning of the school year. I don't wait till February.
Exactly.
And I like to make sure I avoid starting with slavery. You got to start with all the beautiful things that were in Africa, all the beautiful people, all the beautiful representations and accomplishments, structures that were built in Africa. So I'm going to use that timeline, which I never had before, to kind of...
The timeline from the book?
Yes, the timeline from the book.
Yeah.
I should grab it and just hold it up in a moment.
Okay, yeah, we'll grab it in a second.
Yeah, I'm going to use that timeline to basically walk students through the journey of the great African accomplishments until we can get to slavery. And then we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about all the great things that we've done post-slavery.
Wow.
You know? So I'm just going to start with the beginning, from the information that I've been provided, and just kind of walk them through and celebrate with them on how cool it is and how interesting it is and all that.
And like you would not get that information in any other school, right? Because like nobody's teaching on these type of things, and African history is so important.
Very important.
Alright guys, so I hope you have enjoyed this short video. I just wanted him to pop in and talk about his arts and crafts that he does in the classroom. And in closing, you want to tell people where they can find you at, and also how important art is to classrooms.
So, so you can find me on Scar. Can't say that. Okay, let's start over. All right. Now I'm gonna start over.
Yeah.
All right. So you can find me. I have to just say it, because here's the thing. Let's think about this. You can find me on all platforms at The Best We Know How. And art integration in schools is I don't know. Think about it for a second. And art is really important to have in the elementary setting because you can integrate it into anything: science, math, social studies, reading, writing, and just moving around. So you can use your body to make art too. So I try to integrate it into lessons multiple times a week. One, because I know that it promotes cognition, and that just helps them understand the learning targets that I'm teaching them even better. So it gives them a time to take a break from the pencil and paper activities and do stuff that's creative. It inspires them in different ways besides like mathematics and social studies and whatnot. So it's really important.
And like it's good visually, right? It enhances it stimulates them visually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To be able to create something that you see freehand is really important. It shows where they're at developmentally, and it's like a milestone for children. So it's good.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for being on.
Anytime.
Anytime. All right, next time he's in town, we'll have him on. Be sure to follow him at The Best We Know How. All of his social media links will be listed in the description box. Also, make sure that if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel. Also, hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Have a blessed day. Bye.